All the scenes of wildlife in this video were shot on reclaimed strip mining land. The elk are plentiful now, partly because of the open spaces left by the strip mining. Now let's see what it takes to mine coal. Well, it takes some D11 caps, up $2 million a copy, and some giant mining trucks, like this Cat 785, with monster engines like this to propel them. And this giant dragline with a 300-foot boom, with a 65 cubic yard bucket, and a tipper shovel with a 30 cubic yard bucket, and trucks to haul the coal to the Tipple, where the railroad cars are loaded. And we need railroads to haul the coal to market, and the many repair facilities to keep it all running. These old Appalachian Mountains were once as tall as the Himalayas. The coal lies in seams within them and beneath them. Here you can see a simple diagram of the coal seam inside the mountain and the cut where we're going to go. Coal is mined from the many different seams using many different methods. In some cases at the top you remove the top of the mountain to get at it. If you want to study this diagram, hit pause. We'll be looking at a dragline operation, as you can see here. I'll be taking you inside the big dragline, see how it works, and we'll go down into the pit and watch them load coal. And this, of course, is a mountaintop being removed to get the coal. One of the first things you have to do is you have to drill. You drill holes into the rock layer above the coal. Then you fill the holes with ammonium nitrate and diesel fuel, and that is the explosive mixture. Each of these mounds is a hole that's been drilled in the cap rock. They will be filled with ammonium nitrate and diesel fuel. And then these men will detonate it. Watch for the camera to shake when the shock wave hits. Some of those boulders flying in the air are as big as your car. Then they move in the tipper shovel and start removing the overburden above the coal.
That's 60 or 30 yards in that bucket.
That's about 50 tons of rock. That's a D9 Cat.
yards. I'm sorry, 190 tons.
There's the big dragline. The boom reaches out 300 feet. That means you can move material about 500 feet from one side to the other. And there's the bucket. It holds 65 cubic yards. They have 2 spares that are constantly being rebuilt. That's a spare tipper shovel behind the truck. Here the dragline is bringing up overburden from just above the cold seam. It's an all-electric machine, 25,000 volts. All of that shattered rock will be recontoured and make the new tops of the mountains. Looks like Charlie's enjoying his can of pop. Direct current electric motors pull that bucket with a force of 4,000 horsepower. That bucket material is about 150 tons. How about we go inside this dragline and see what makes it work?
Hey, these are about 1,000 horsepower motors, and there's 4 of them. Pull together to pull up the bucket. Those cables are about 3 inches in diameter. This is inside the big dragline. Now these are the motors that are used to swing it back and forth. 3 of them. Look at the size of those cables.
This runs off a 25,000 volt power supply. This AC motor drives a bank of DC generators, and they run all the DC motors. Here's a spare gear and shaft. See, they're pretty big. They're the ones that are used to rotate the dragline. Well, Charlie's going to show us how to run this thing. This is from inside the operator's cab.
I like his vehicle up there. What we need that though.
Man, oh man, so 300-foot boom.
Woo-hoo. Okay, Charlie, show us how this thing works. Down in the pit. That's where they're getting the coal off the bottom of the mine. We'll be going down there in just a little bit. Remember, it takes 4,000 horsepower to pull that bucket.
Unbelievably quiet.
Oh yeah.
It's amazingly quiet.
You make it see better from this other side.
Boy, that is amazing.
Tell you what, now that's
Here they're bringing in a truckload of overburden. They're cleaning up just above the coal seam. Notice how the dragline operator waits until the truck gets out of the way. If one of those cables was to break, that bucket would crush that truck. Here you can see the steel used to line that bucket to protect it. Here you get a good idea why they need a couple of spares. That rock grinding against that steel doesn't take long to wear it out. Well, let's get down in that pit. Here they're getting the coal ready for loading into another truck. Gotta remove all that rock to get that 4-foot seam of coal. That coal was laid down about 360 million years ago, in the Carboniferous period. There on the left, you see a big front end loader cleaning up the overburden off of the seam of coal. Getting ready to take it over to the dragline.
Now that's a monster.
There goes about 80 tons of coal out of the mine to the Tipple.
Load another.
None of these semis can make it up this little grade here. All the water has turned it to slick mud. You can see his drive wheel starting to spin.
Needs a push. Can't get him out.
Notice the tailgate has reinforcing bars. They know they're going to have a push. Even those tires slip a little. Well, let's follow one of these trucks to the Tipple. See how they get this coal onto the trains.
Mm-hmm.
The trucks arrive at the Tipple and empty their loads at the building in the upper left. Let's go up there and have a look. Here comes a truckload now. Coal is then moved to the staging area just before it's loaded onto the trains. The squealing you're hearing is the railroad car's wheels squealing against the rails. Railroad cars under that building. Here they're filled with coal. This Tipple shut down in about 2013. All the jobs are gone. From here, the coal will be taken to steel mills and power plants across the country. But this isn't the end of the story, because there's still a lot going on back at the mine. Well, the big dragline is gone. I understand they sold it to a potash mine in Florida. There used to be two of them here at the Starfire mine. They decided to move the mountain with D11 cats. Just think, about $2 million apiece. They had about 27 of them. Each D11 is moving about 35 cubic yards of material. You have to realize if that dragline shut down, the whole operation shut down. If one of these bulldozers breaks down, no harm done. The others will just keep on pushing. This is a coal and rock separation plant. Sometimes the seams of coal are full of rock. You have to separate the two. First, you create a mixture of a compound of iron and water. You mix the two at just the right amount to where the coal will float and the rock will sink. Then that liquid mixture is put into a large circular clarifying tank where the rock and coal are actually separated. The waste rock is then removed by way of this conveyor system. Then the clean coal is sent out to the trucks. Well, now you've seen how they get the coal. Now for a little bit on how they maintain all the equipment.
These are the track tensioning devices. And that piece goes in there.
There was a crack on top and had to be cut out and re-welded. Here a rebuilt haul truck, waiting for its rebuilt dump body. Those truck beds do wear out hauling all that rock. They have to be completely rebuilt. Here they're relining the inside with new steel.
With all new steel in it.
Placing that dump body on that truck is no easy task. That holds 240 tons. When these guys say heavy equipment, they mean heavy equipment. That old haul truck gets rebuilt, it'll be almost as good as this brand new one. Here Tim's rebuilding a front end loader bucket, putting new teeth on it. And here welding new plates on the bottom for protection. And when bearings wear out, you have to fill them with welding rod. And then to smooth those bearings, you do a process called line boring. There's 4 bearings there that are being rebuilt, and they all have to be in perfect alignment. And when it's all done, those bearings are like brand new. Here's a 15-year-old 992, completely rebuilt and almost as good as this brand new 993. The reclaimed land is now home to turkey, as you can see here, deer, elk, black bear, coyotes, all kinds of critters. Turkey flying home to roost. Here's a young buck just sparring with an old bull. This is on the Starfire property where the mine was. It's been all reclaimed now. wonder if these does are just playing around or if they're just trying to show off in front of him. Elk were reintroduced into Kentucky in the early 90s. They brought about 1,200 in from Utah. The herds are now up to about 10,000 and they allow hunting. Separation plant is now closed, along with all the jobs. In fact, the whole mine is now shut down. Reclaiming the land is now the only activity there.